World leaders hold an emergency meeting in Copenhagen. Energy bills are creating spending cuts at schools, and Tesla Motors takes a road trip. This is the Daily Energy Report. Hello and welcome to the Daily Energy Report for Friday, December the 18th. I'm Ben Lack and I'll be bringing you three top stories coming from the energy sector today. President Barack Obama and other world leaders held an emergency meeting this morning in Copenhagen with hopes of coming up with a political agreement to salvage a conference marked by deep divisions between rich and poor countries. With talks in disarray Friday, many world leaders have been looking to China and the U.S., the world's two largest carbon emitters, to deepen their concessions in hopes of coming to an agreement in Copenhagen. But neither the U.S. nor China offered any new commitments to cut greenhouse gas emissions as President Obama and Premier Wen Jiabao addressed the UN climate conference in Copenhagen. And Premier Wen skipped the high-level emergency meeting this morning, sending an envoy instead. And even though the United States yesterday announced their willingness to increase their funding to assist developing nations lower their carbon emissions, China is unwilling to agree to the transparency that the United States is trying to push that would hold countries accountable for each of these cuts. So unless there's a seismic shift in negotiations, it looks like there will be no resolution for anyone to agree on. Not a good sign. 2/3 of school districts responding to a school energy and environmental survey have stated that they've had to make cutbacks in their spending due to rising energy costs. The study, conducted by Honeywell and the Education Week research, showed that 74% of respondents also said their districts don't have the money to pursue energy retrofits or renewable energy projects. These budgetary constraints and cutbacks, primarily in building maintenance and capital investment, are hurting efforts to boost efficiency and resolve schools' long-term energy and financial concerns. The online survey gathered input from more than 250 district administrators nationwide regarding energy management and environmental sustainability practices. And more than half of respondents have scaled back, delayed, or eliminated the possibility of energy efficiency and renewable energy projects due to the economic downturn. And while there is growing interest for schools to incorporate sustainability practices into their building operations and curriculum, there's a clear gap between commitment and activity. While 26% of districts have set goals to reduce their carbon footprints, only 7% have completed a greenhouse gas inventory, a necessary step in cataloging emissions and setting a baseline to gauge the impact on environmental initiatives. And finally, Tesla Motors began a 2,700-mile trip to Detroit yesterday in its all-electric Tesla Roadster. The goal of this historic journey is to raise awareness about alternative fuel cars and greet customers nationwide. Tesla employees, including engineers, lawyers, recruiters, and salespeople, will make dozens of stops nationwide for test drives, tech talks, and customer appreciation events and media opportunities. Tesla, which is aggressively recruiting mechanical and electrical engineers, is also swinging through college towns in Arizona, Texas, and Illinois. The car will arrive in Detroit in advance of the North American International Auto Show, which starts January the 11th. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thanks for watching and tune in next week to check out the latest Daily Energy Report. Have a great weekend.